August usually get overlooked. It's not EA hype season, it's not holiday release chaos, but if you're surprised about how many absolute bangers are packed into this month, some of these are sequels that we waited for years. Others are bold new indies swinging for the fences, and a few are remakes of games that practically raised us from birth. Now, no matter what you're into, horror, action, RPG, strategy, or just something chill, there's something here for you. And trust me, I get it. Honestly, I do. Your wallet is probably on life support already, so this list, think of it as your field guide, your personal gaming GPS. So let's count down the most must-play games dropping this August. So alright, let's kick it off with Mafia: The Old Country. Launching August 8th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, this is a raw, unapologetic, old-school prequel. We're talking early 1900s Sicily, a time of dust, blood, and the kind of loyalty that could get you killed. You play as Enzio, a sulfur miner who crawls his way up through the criminal underworld. Not for power, but for survival. This isn't your open world in a modern sense. It's a classic, gritty, and focused. Every dusty back alley, every decaying villa, every whispering threat in the Sicilian dialect, it all builds the world into something real. The devs are clearly leaning into a story and atmosphere here. The fictional Sicilian setting is full of narrow streets, crumbling villas, and a long-held vendettas. There's a brutal honesty to how the combat plays out. Slower paced and more deliberate shootouts with the limited weapons and harsh consequences. It's no high-speed chases or crazy explosion, just raw tension, stealth, and a hell of a lot of blood on your hands. And let's not skip the voice acting. It's fully voiced in regional Sicilian dialect with an English subtitle track that doesn't dumb down the experience. This could be the most immersive Mafia title to date. Next up is Madden NFL 2026. Dropping August 4th, this is the first Madden to fully break from the last gen consoles. And yeah, the breakup was long overdue for some people, but I know there's a lot of people who haven't fully switched over yet and is gonna be disappointed. However, they rebuilt the core systems from the ground up. Quarterback DNA now makes each QB feel different. Is he patient in the pocket? Is he a scrambler, a meltdown machine? It shows how he moves, reacts, and plays. Coach DNA adds personality to your AI staff. Some go aggressive on the fourth down, others live and die by the field goal. Your playstyle matters. Franchise mode is finally getting the love it deserves. The new wear and tear system means your top running back can't just carry your every game. There's a physical toll. Add dynamic substitutions, over 200 plus new coaching models, a full rework of superstar mode with off-field story arcs, and even game day weather system that affects how your team plays. And this is shaping up to be more than just a roster update. Uniform physics, lightning upgrades, and the first Switch Madden in over a decade. Yeah, this might be the year to not skip Madden. Dying Like the Beast, out on August 22nd. Kyle Crane is back and he's changed a lot. He's been tortured, experimented on, and now he's not even entirely human. Set in the mist-covered Twin Peaks style of Castor Woods, this standalone title leans hard into the survival horror. There's no safe rooftops here, just forests, swamps, and abandoned factories that want you dead. When the sun sets, you either run, hide, or unleash beast mode. Transversal has also evolved. There are more environmental tools, trees to swing from, rotting bridges to cross, vehicles to scavenge. Combat feels tighter too, with a new enemy AI that adapts to your behavior. Kyle Beast Mode introduces a new skill tree with abilities like wall scaling, berserk speed, and electrocation style stealth kills. The narrative explores the psychological trauma of being turned into something you once hunted, and the emotional weight that shows how Kyle interacts with the world now. With about 20 hours of gameplay and a free upgrade for Ultimate Edition owners, this might be Techland's most ambitious project since the first game. Gears of War Reloaded, coming on August 26th. This is a full Unreal Engine 5 remaster of the original Gears. Native 4K at 60 frames per second in story mode and up to 120 FPS in multiplayer. They're not just polishing up the graphics, they rebuilt the lighting, animation, and shadows. The game feels like a brand new Gears while keeping the soul of the classic. All DLC, the bonuses, Ultimate Edition, full co-op, and Versus mode are all here. Crossplay between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC is supported. Campaign cutscenes have been re-rendered. voice lines rebalanced, and even the soundtrack has been remastered to hit harder in surround sound. They even threw in a performance benchmark mode for PC. If you're new to the franchise, this is the definitive starting point. If you're a veteran, welcome home. Helldivers 2 hits Xbox August 2026. Now that Xbox players are finally joining the fight in this chaotic co-op shooter, is gonna get even wilder. Friendly fire is still on, of course. It wouldn't be Helldivers without it, because nothing says teamwork like accidentally nuking your own squad, right? Gameplay is still very tight. Missions are also very brutal. Strategies matter, and those strategic cones feel like tree codes from back in the day. If you missed it on PlayStation or PC, now's the time to join. At $39.99 for the base and $59.99 for the Super Citizen Edition, originally launched in February of 2024, Helldivers 2 became the underdog hit of the year. Despite early server issues and a PSN login controversy that started some backlash, it exploded in popularity, selling over 15 million copies. Now with the full crossplay and a larger audience, this new Xbox edition is more than just a port, it's a reinvigoration of the entire galactic war. With chaotic PvE missions, deep loadout customization, and more hilariously danger-friendly fire in gaming, Helldivers 2 is primed for a second wind on Xbox. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, August 28th. Konami is bringing one of the greatest stealth action games ever made back with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This is the full remake of the 04 PlayStation 2 classic. Rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5 with hyper-realistic environments, dynamic foliage, and some of the most immersive survival mechanics in the series, you play as Naked Snake, dropped behind enemy lines with the Soviet jungle, with only a knife, a radio, and your wits to survive. The story remains untouched, an original tale of betrayal, ideology, and legacy. What's new about the game is presentation. Snake now shows real-time wounds, your gear can get scoffed, and camo matters more than ever. You can switch between legacy controls or a modified layout. The new Fox Hunt multiplayer mode introduces a competitive stealth game where you're either the hunter or the hunted. And even though Kojima isn't involved with this, the game looks faithful and intense. This could be the start of a whole new Metal Gear era. Shinobi Art of Vengeance, August 29th. Sega and Lizard Cube are reviving a legendary ninja, Joe Musashi, in Shinobi Art of Vengeance. It's a gorgeous 2D side scroller with a hand-drawn animation that brings old school action to life and a modern anime aesthetic. The game kicks off with Joe's clan turned to stone by a dark sorcerer, and you set out for revenge across techno temples, burning forests, and mythic ruins. The game is rich with combat layers, light and heavy attack combos and chains, counter slashes, and a powerful ninjutsu. You even have a canine companion named Yamato who evolves as you play, acting as both a grappling hook and a combat partner. Exploration leads into the Metroidvania territory with secrets and upgrades hidden behind skill-gated paths. It's part nostalgia, part fresh energy, and it might be one of the biggest surprises of the summer. Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2, August 2025. Originally a Microsoft exclusive, Hellblade 2 is finally arriving on PlayStation 5. Ninja's Theory's visual masterpiece continues the story of Senua, a Celtic warrior haunted by psychosis. As she journeys through the Norse lands that blurs the line between reality and madness, there's no hood display, there's no hand-holding, just raw storytelling told through expressive animations and bone-chilling audio. Combat is slow, brutal, and deeply personal. You won't be facing hundreds of enemies, you'll be facing one terrifying warrior at a time, and when you do, every clash of blades feel monumental. The game uses Unreal Engine 5, giving the environments an almost hyper-real sheen. It's a psychological thriller wrapped in myth, and it's not just a game, it's definitely an experience you don't want to miss. Sword of the Sea, August 19th. From the creators of Journey and Abzu comes Sword of the Sea, a meditative exploration game set in the surreal oceanic desert. You play as Wrath, silent, alone, gliding through the forgotten ruins on a hover sword that moves like a skateboard and a surfboard had a spiritual baby. There's no combat, just momentum, beauty, and the joy of movement. As you awaken the necropolis, the ruined structures bloom into life. Ocean currents sweep through the desert, skate ramps form out of the temple ruins, and the game's soundtrack by Austin Winfrey is dynamic, matching your flow, swelling with orchestration. Is peaceful, poetic, and hypnotic. If you're looking for something chill between all the chaos, this one will heal your soul. One of my personal favorites, Black Myth Wukong, coming out this August. 1 year after launch on PS5 and PC, Black Myth Wukong finally arrives on Xbox Series X and S. Inspired by Journey to the West, this action RPG puts you in the role of the Destined One, a warrior monkey with shape-shifting abilities and a staff that extends, spins, and launches you deep into the air. Think Sekiro with Chinese mythology and visual flair. The bosses are beautifully unforgettable, each rooted in folklore with patterns that challenge your reflexes and your patience. You'll switch between 3 combat stances and unlock new magical forms like turning into a beast or becoming invisible. Built on Unreal Engine 5, this is a technical marvel with the dreamlike landscapes, tight combat, and evolving narrative. If you love Souls-likes with a twist, this one is a must-play. This Country, August 21st. This Country is weird in the best ways. It's part life sim, part management game, part surreal mystery. You inherit a supermarket in a small coastal town after your aunt mysteriously vanished. By day, you're stocking shelves and managing inventory. By night, you're uncovering conspiracies involving missing livestock, rival shopkeepers, and maybe, just maybe, a cult. Gameplay flips between retail sim and adventure game. You'll set up shop layouts, influence customer flow, and adjust prices based on town gossip. Then when the lights go out, you're exploring the streets, questioning locals, and piecing together the town's dark past. With cozy visuals and a soundtrack that mixes whimsy and unease, this one could be the next indie darling of 2025. Space Adventure Cobra, The Awakening, August 26. If you love retro anime vibes, Space Adventure Cobra is your game. Based on the cult 1980s manga and anime, this side-scrolling action platformer puts you in the boots of Cobra, a space pirate with a psycho gun embedded in his left arm and a flair for chaos. It's stylish, cheesy, and full of swagger. The game retells the Captain Nielsen arc with a fast-paced platforming, jetpack, transversal, and a surprising amount of weapon depth. Expect over-the-top boss fights, neon-lit planets, and co-op options if you want to bring a friend. This art directionally nails that classic Saturday morning cartoon feel. This is one for the diehards, and the game knows it. Lost Soul Aside, August 29th. Lost Soul Aside has finally come a long way from a one-man project in 2014 to a full-scale cinematic action RPG. You play as Kaiser, a lone swordsman whose sentient dragon sword transforms into a different weapons mid-combo. The story follows him on a quest to save his sister from a multi-dimensional conflict filled with anime drama and massive boss battles. Combat is stylish and fast. Think Devil's May Cry mixed with some Final Fantasy. There's parrying, aerial juggling, form switching, and skill trees. Graphically, it's a stunner with particle effects and dynamic camera angles that feel ripped from a high-budget anime. After years in development, it looks finally ready to blow people away. The Nightwing, August 23rd. Dark, elegant, and full of atmosphere.
Squire, a young, eager apprentice, thirsting for the sort of adventures typically undertaken by his master, the strong, stately Sir Lionstone. The comparatively puny protagonist doesn't have much in common with his long-maned mentor, but he does have access to his powerful lush rolling hills, vibrant flora-filled valleys, stunning cliff faces, and majestic waterfalls spilling into crystal-clear lakes and streams. The charming universe packs plenty of eye-pleasing appeal. A closer examination of moving objects, such as spinning windmill blades, casting shadows on the ground below, also reveals
Chicago Grudge Domain, August 30th. Part technical RPG, part horror visual novel, Kago the Grudge Domain blends Japanese folklore with strategic gameplay. You run a shrine cursed by ancient spirits. At night, you defend the grounds using a combination of spells, traps, and rituals. By day, you manage relationships and uncover clues about curse origins. Choices matter, characters can die permanently, and depending on your morality, the ending shifts dramatically. The hand-drawn art is beautiful and eerie, and the game's pacing keeps you guessing. If you like technical combat with psychological depth, this one deserves your attention. Dream Drop Distance DX, August 31st. Square Enix wraps up
a
August
way
with
of
a
micromanaging the player.
re-release
However,
of
the
Kingdom
game
Hearts
actually
Dream
gives you
Drop
a
Distance.
plethora of
This
features to
DX
combat
version
the drop
includes visual
gauge if the player wants
new
to.
bosses,
Things like the drop
better camera
decelerator whenever a
controls,
player
and
does.
integration
Reason
with
I
your
held a
main
grudge
line
against the
Kingdom
system
Hearts
for a
save
long
files.
time.
It's
I
still
remember
as weird and
countless
wild as you
moments of me
remember.
struggling with the
Sora
boss
and
fight
Riku bouncing
only to
through
drop
dream
when they
worlds,
were on their
unlocking
last
powers,
health
and
bar,
fighting
which is
Disney
pretty
and Final
infuriating.
Fantasy
Though
villains
whenever
side
I
by side
replay
is
Dream Drop
Kingdom
Distance,
Hearts.
this
It
is
makes no
never an
sense,
issue
and
because
it's
I
still
always
why we
check
love
the
it.
drop.
So that's it. That's the list of massive titles with one absolutely stacked month. So what are you most hyped for? Let me know in the comments. And if I miss one, let me know as well what you're looking forward to. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 Eastern time. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay smart, and stay alpha.